How to replace a drive belt. Flexonic versus Poly V. So the first thing you want to do is remove the motor hood. You'll find screws on the base of it and the sides. Now that that's removed, let's start with Flexonic. The good thing about these belts is that they're a stretch to fit belt, which means it has some give or stretch to help with installing and uninstalling on your treadmill. Another good thing about these belts is that they maintain the tension so that they don't slide off. They don't need extra components in order to keep the tension on it. So in order to remove these belts, what you want to do is twist the belt like this, and then pull the drive motor flywheel towards you. Careful to not pinch your fingers in the process. As you'll notice, the belt will begin to slide off of the pulley, until eventually it pops off. Now we still have a problem here. The belt is still stuck in the treadmill. So what we want to do is remove the front roller. You can do that by removing some bolts that hold it to the frame. Unfortunately, this one doesn't have any bolts. It's tightened because the rear roller is tight, so we're gonna have to loosen that. Now that that's done, we can safely remove the front roller. Then take out the belt. To reinstall the belt, you want to put the front roller back in its original position, then place the belt on the roller pulley and the other end of the belt on the drive motor pulley. With the flywheel, turn it towards you while holding the belt down. Now that it's on, you want to twist the belt this way and pull towards you again. Eventually, you'll notice that the belt starts to align with the grooves of the pulley and starts becoming more in the middle. Now sometimes it still needs some adjustment. As we could see here, the belt is a little too far to the right. So what we want to do is take the belt and twist it again like this, and this time push forward. And keep pushing forward till it's directly in the middle. Now let's move on to regular Poly V belts. Unfortunately, these type of belts are not stretched to fit, which means it doesn't have as much give or stretch to keep the tension on itself. So these type of belts require a idler pulley or a sort of mechanism within the treadmill that keeps the tension on it. That way it doesn't slip off the drive motor or the roller. It's important to note that these aren't stretched to fit belts because every belt has a specific size to it. So if you don't get the correct size to your particular model machine, it's not going to fit. And you could try stretching it on, but that's not what these were designed for, so you could cause unnecessary damage by doing that. Another thing is that since they're not stretched to fit, we can't uninstall it like we did the Flexonics by twisting it and then pulling the ribs off of the pulley of the front roller. That could cause damage to the ribs of the belt. What we want to do is uninstall it via the tension mechanism or the idler pulley that's installed in the treadmill itself, and we will see that in a moment. Sometimes you'll see the idler pulley in this section of the treadmill or towards the sides, and it'll be putting pressure right here on the belt to keep it tight. Now, we don't have that here, but for the sake of you knowing how to remove it, what you're going to find on the idler pulley is a spring that you detach and then some bolts just pinning it to the frame. Just remove those, you'll be good to go. Now, in this case, since we don't have that, we have this mechanism that helps the belt stay tight. We have these two bolts here that are holding onto this drive motor and keeping it in place, and then we have 4 bolts on each corner of the drive motor pinning it to the frame of the treadmill as well. What we want to do is remove these and remove those 4 so that way we can shift this up. If you notice down there, there are those slots, and that shows us that this is movable. So if we move it forward, we'll loosen this and then we could detach the belt from it. Now that that's loose, we can detach this, and then all that's left to do is remove the front roller so we can get the rest of it out. Bolts are out. Now we can lift up the roller, take the belt right out. To reinstall, all you would need to do is put everything we just did in reverse. So putting the belt back on the front roller, putting the bolts in, taking the other end of the belt, attaching it to the pulley of the drive motor, and then pinning the drive motor in through the bolts on the front of the treadmill and the four corners. Make sure not to forget to pull the drive motor all the way back when the belt is on it, so that way the belt is tight and it keeps the tension. And that is how you replace a Flexonic and Poly V belt.